What does the music world need? Well, I guess it needs music, but we have a lot of music. We have probably more music than a million people could consume in a million lifetimes, right? There is no shortage of great clarinetists or great cellists. Doesn't mean that there's no need for those people, but there is no shortage of them. What there is a shortage of is musical leaders, people who can find new solutions to new or old problems, people who can figure out ways in our quickly changing world to create bonds with audiences and help solve real-world problems. You know, part of what we do is teach skills. How do you create a business plan? How can you manage the financials? And these are hard, but can be taught. The hardest thing I have found is reprogramming the way someone's mind works. You know, when I was a student, we almost felt guilty if we thought about money. We felt like we were selling our soul to the devil. And we should the opportunity of making art should be enough, and we should be grateful to be starving artists. And that attitude largely has gone away. I find that with most students today and artists today, they don't want to be on food stamps. They're not here to get rich, but they're also not here to live in poverty. But the theory that to get a different result, you might have to approach things differently is really hard.
I think the biggest thing comes from kind of what is taught as a young musician especially. Most people are going into college and thinking, if they're studying music, there are kind of two paths that someone can take, and it's either you're a performer or you're an educator. And so that one of the hardest things as an undergrad was getting out of that box and realizing that there are other opportunities. Sometimes you have to create opportunities for yourself, but you can still stay true to your art and craft your art, but it doesn't have to necessarily be in a conventional setting. Good morning. You are listening to Sonatas and Soundscapes, your daily classical music from South Carolina Public Radio. This program is made possible in part by the Paul M. Angel Family Foundation. I'm Kate McNee, I host and produce the only daily live classical music show here at South Carolina Public Radio. And if someone had told me that when I was 24 I would be doing a radio show about classical music, I would say, you know, really? But it's just the most fulfilling job as a musician, as someone who loves music. And again, I think it comes down to that seizing the opportunities, and maybe you're kind of like going out on a limb and hoping that something is fulfilling and wonderful, but you never know until you try it.
The concert truck is a mobile concert hall. We have a fold-out stage that folds out of the back of a truck, and it's equipped with lights and sound equipment and a piano. And we give piano concerts to people in open spaces and at schools and in underserved areas. And our mission is to really share this music with all kinds of people from all walks of life.
So right now, we're all trying to make a living doing basically the same thing. Performing, teaching, and in school we learn how to play our instruments really well, but we don't learn a lot about how to make a living and how to find opportunities. And so this idea is really powerful because it allows musicians and allows us to go wherever there's a need for music.
I think this is a great time to be an artist. But for leaders and people who can create opportunities and think differently, in some ways, conditions have never been more favorable to artists. But in order to tap into those things, you have to change. You might have to change what you do. You might have to change your art, or you might have to change the way that you approach your art, or you might have to change the way that you think about your role in the society. Of course, when they get a taste of that nectar of success and the liberation that comes when you can be open to the potential that is everywhere, that's transformative in itself, and you can see that this light switch go off. But it's a process. Life is always a process.